The tale of El Fausto is one of the sea's most perplexing mysteries. A story of a boat that vanished and reappeared, a crew that disappeared, and a notebook that might hold the answers. It's a story that continues to baffle, intrigue, and mystify. And so the enigma of El Fausto begins to unfold. The year was 1968, a time of both innocence and uncertainty. The Fausto, with its 14-meter frame and robust 43-horsepower Lister engine, was a familiar sight in the waters surrounding the Canary Islands. Owned by Rafael Acosta, the vessel was crewed by a seasoned team of sailors, the brothers Ramon and Eliberto Hernandez, along with their cousins Miguel and Viterbo Acosta. Together they had weathered countless voyages navigating the treacherous waters of the Atlantic with skill and camaraderie. But on that fateful day in July, the Fausto would embark on a journey that would end in mystery and tragedy. Loaded with a cargo of explosives destined for agricultural use on the neighboring island of El Hierro, the crew set sail from Tazacorte, their spirits buoyed by the promise of another successful voyage. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an ethereal glow over the ocean, the Fausto charted its course towards El Hierro. But fate had other plans in store. In a twist of serendipity, the crew encountered Julio Garcia, a desperate father whose infant daughter lay gravely ill on La Palma. With no other options available, Julio implored the crew for passage, offering payment for the ride. Moved by compassion, the crew welcomed Julio aboard, setting the stage for a journey fraught with unforeseen peril. As the Fausto plowed through the gentle swells of the Atlantic, the crew's spirits remained high, their banter punctuated by the rhythmic hum of the engine. But in the early hours of the morning, tragedy struck. Somewhere between the islands of El Hierro and La Palma, the Fausto vanished without a trace, leaving behind only questions and speculation. For days, Rafael Acosta and the families of the crew waited anxiously for news of their loved ones, their hopes slowly fading as each hour passed. When the British ship Duquesa reported sighting the Fausto adrift, relief swept through the tight-knit community of Tazacorte. Miraculously, the crew was alive, their faces weathered by sun and wind, but their spirits unbroken. Yet, the joyous reunion was short-lived. Despite offers of assistance from the Duquesa, the crew of the Fausto inexplicably refused a tow back to La Palma, insisting that all was well aboard their vessel. Instead, they asked to be given enough fuel and food to make it back to La Palma by themselves. When asked what kind of mechanical breakdown or failure they had experienced, they replied that their boat was fine, and nothing was out of the ordinary. The Fausto's crew received enough fuel for sailing 18 hours full ahead and a generous food and water supply for the trip. Afterwards, the Fausto sailed away. Back in Tazacorte, a strong sense of happiness and relief filled the air. At 6 p.m. the entire town assembled at the port, eagerly awaiting the return of the Fausto. Festivities had begun, complete with wine, and the families of the four men were the focal point, eagerly watching the horizon for the return of their beloved ones. As time went on, night fell, and despite a few boats setting off earlier in the hope of meeting the Fausto, no ship appeared on the horizon. Determined not to succumb to their fears, the sailors' wives and children remained on the docks, where they waited most of the night for a ship that never returned. Eventually, they had to face the grim truth. The Fausto was lost at sea once more. A massive search and rescue operation was launched, spanning the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean in a desperate bid to locate the missing vessel. But despite the best efforts of rescuers and volunteers, the Fausto remained elusive, its fate shrouded in uncertainty. Months passed and still the mystery of the Fausto persisted. Various theories emerged, each more tantalizing than the last. Some speculated that the crew had fallen victim to foul play, while others whispered of supernatural forces at work. Yet, for all the speculation and conjecture, the truth remained elusive, hidden beneath the waves of the vast ocean. Then, on a dark, cloudy morning in October, 2 months after its disappearance, the Fausto reappeared, this time in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. The Italian merchant ship Anna Di Maio stumbled upon the deserted vessel, its crew nowhere to be found. As first mate Luciano Acione and a deck sailor boarded the abandoned vessel. Finding it in good condition but deserted, they discovered no signs of violence or damage. Despite the ship appearing seaworthy, a chilling discovery awaited below deck. A lifeless figure lay sprawled on the floor beside the ship's engine, facing upwards. Completely unclothed, he was accompanied by a transistor radio. It was evident that his demise had occurred long before, and the unique conditions of the oceanic surroundings had contributed to a partial mummification of his body. Alarmed, Alcyone commanded the deck sailor to come back to the Ana de Mayo and have the radio operators send a message notifying the spooky discovery. Meanwhile, he searched the engine room and found a notebook belonging to the deceased man. Missing pages hinted at a mysterious story, with the remaining pages containing calculations, notes in Spanish, and a cryptic farewell. Alcyone returned to the Ana de Mayo with the notebook and some insurance documents found on board. Just 5 hours after the discovery, both Spanish authorities and the people of La Palma were informed. It seemed that answers might finally be on the horizon once the mysterious body reached Spain for further examination. The Ana de Mayo had planned to tow the Fausto all the way to Puerto Cabello, Venezuela, and agreed to send an envelope with some documents found aboard. However, on October 11th at 6:30 a.m., a shocking telegram arrived from the Ana de Mayo. It reported that while being towed, the Fausto had sunk bow first during the night, dragging the towing cable with it. The position given was 1904 Sixen, 46026 W, approximately 2,200 kilometers southwest of La Palma, and 3,000 kilometers northeast of Venezuela. Unfortunately, the dead body on board vanished with the boat. All that remained were the documents retrieved by Alcyone. Eventually the notebook made its way to La Palma, where Julio Garcia's wife, Luz, identified it as her husband's. It contained Julio's personal notes and records of his work as a mechanic in La Palma. As we delve into the notebook's contents, we encounter a world of mystery and intrigue. The final page contained a heartfelt goodbye from Julio to his young wife, detailing instructions on handling the insurance policies and selling their properties to ensure financial stability after his passing. The message concluded with a poignant plea. "Never tell their then 5-year-old son's name about what happened to me. You understand that this was meant to be. Love you." Julio's address was noted at the bottom, confirmed by Luz to be his handwriting. As of 2013, Luz remained alive and held on to the last page of Julio's notebook, never remarrying. One of the most intriguing aspects of the note was its abrupt beginning and lack of context, suggesting Julio's foreknowledge of his impending demise. This, coupled with the absence of 28 pages, led investigators to suspect Julio had documented the events leading to the Fausto's mysterious fate. Naturally, numerous questions emerged. What secrets lay within those missing 28 pages and who removed them? Where did the rest of the crew disappear? Let us know of your thoughts in the comments below. The disappearance of El Fausto and the cryptic notebook have spun a web of theories. Let's delve into the rabbit hole of conjectures and speculations that surround this enigma. Firstly, we have the theory that the crew witnessed something they were not supposed to see at the sea amid the intense Cold War era. Some speculated about the possibility of the Fausto crew stumbling into a conflict involving US or Soviet submarines. This speculation was fueled by the recent sinking of the USS Scorpion, not far from where the Fausto vanished. While the cause of the Scorpion sinking remains debated, the presence of numerous submarines in the North Atlantic was undeniable. However, there's no evidence linking the Fausto's disappearance to such a scenario. Additionally, their behavior upon rescue and the condition of the boat found later suggest a different course of events. The second theory we'll delve into suggests that they could have been involved into trafficking weapons or drugs. This theory seems unlikely as the 4 men and their families were financially stable, with no significant debts or criminal backgrounds. Their modest lifestyles indicated they had no motivation to jeopardize their safety or land themselves or their loved ones in dangerous or illegal situations for monetary gain. Another theory emerged, suggesting that a Nazi fugitive hiding on El Hierro kidnapped the boat to escape to South America upon learning about Nazi hunters like Wiesenthal. While this tale gained traction as an urban legend, its specificity and implausibility made it widely dismissed. The notion of a Nazi fugitive orchestrating such a scheme seemed far-fetched, placing it firmly in the realm of absurd hypotheses surrounding the Fausto's disappearance. The prevailing theory regarding the Fausto's vanishing suggests that they encountered a series of unfortunate events, each compounding the next, ultimately leading to their tragic fate. As their situation worsened, the crew likely became increasingly panicked and irrational, resulting in further errors and misjudgments. However, the specific nature of these setbacks remains elusive, leaving experts puzzled even after half a century of investigation. The absence of concrete evidence and the peculiar sequence of events make it challenging to formulate a definitive explanation for their disappearance, adding to the enduring mystery surrounding the case. As we conclude our journey into the enigmatic tale of the Fausto and her crew, one thing remains abundantly clear. The mystery surrounding their disappearance continues to captivate and perplex us. From the initial vanishing to the discovery of the deserted vessel and the cryptic farewell note found within, each twist in this story deepens the intrigue and leaves us with more questions than answers. What truly happened to the Fausto and her crew on that fateful voyage? What secrets lay hidden within those missing pages of Julio's notebook? And why did they refuse assistance when first found? We invite you to share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories and mysteries from around the world. Until our next adventure, keep seeking answers and embracing the mysteries of our world.